Hello again, welcome back inside the Tier 4 studio here in Morgantown, West Virginia. The Charleston Daily Mail. You know I'm Mike Casazza, and I know you are here for our Wednesday walkthrough. This is our weekly video blog preview of the upcoming West Virginia University football game. And what about that upcoming West Virginia University football game? It's a big one, am I wrong? Of course not. I know that this is one you circle pretty much the first time you get your mitts on a schedule in the offseason. It's more than just a border battle against the Maryland Terrapins. There's more at stake than just recruiting regions and bragging rights. This is very much a barometer occasion for WVU's football program. History of the series goes back much farther than I'm about to encapsulate, but try and follow me here. Past 22 seasons has seen 20 regular season matchups between these two teams. Brief hiatus in the late 2000s when Maryland wanted to play a home-and-home against Cal. And there was the 2003 season in which Maryland swept West Virginia in the regular season and the Gator Bowl. But 20 regular season matchups. West Virginia is 13-7, a good record. And again, it means a lot to beat Maryland in this series. Because in the 13 seasons of which West Virginia won the regular season matchup, it advanced to a bowl game 12 times, including the last 12 seasons in which it won. Of these 7 seasons that West Virginia lost to Maryland, it missed the bowl game 4 times, including last season. So, a good reason for a lot of people to hinge their hopes on the future fate of West Virginia based on the outcome of what will happen Saturday, noon, Bird Stadium on the Big, I can't even say it, it's the Big Ten Network. It feels so weird, does it not? But this is the reality right now, and this is a series that West Virginia wants to continue, but more importantly, wants to get a hold of again after having control of it for so long. A 7-game winning streak snapped with last year's 37-0 defeat. Matchups a lot more even this time than they were last season when, frankly, Maryland was just a much better football team and proved it extravagantly in the 4th game of the season. A lot of the same players back, a lot of the same stars back for Maryland. You figure if you're back, you're better, and that's certainly the case based on how they look and what they will do, certainly for the remainder of this season. But West Virginia's better too, there's no denying that. A lot of the same parts back and improved at virtually every position, most notably, most importantly on offense and at quarterback. However, West Virginia's offense is not without concern going into this game. What if I told you in the past 2 seasons against Maryland, the 2 seasons in which Brian Stewart has been the defensive coordinator for the Terrapins, West Virginia has managed but 6 20-plus yard plays total. 6 total. 2 games, 8 quarters. That's not good, obviously. I need not tell you that. 4 of them were 20-plus pass plays in 2012. 3 of them were touchdown passes to and by Tavon Austin, 24, 34, and 44 yards. Let's not diminish Tavon's skill. 13 receptions in that game. He was unstoppable. But they needed special plays from a special player to beat Maryland. They did not move the ball and mount plays on top of plays to possess the ball and score against this Maryland defense. And it was certainly the same last year. The 2 plays were runs. They were 51 and 31 yards. But let's put asterisks by those because they came at the end. The 51-yard run by Dreamus Smith on the penultimate possession, the 30-yard run by Wendell Smallwood on the final possession. It mattered not toward the outcome. It just pumped up artificially running totals for West Virginia, which, by the way, weren't very good anyhow. Brian Stewart's done a really good job in Maryland. He's done as good a job of anybody against West Virginia's defense. And this defense is no joke. This is probably going to be bad news for you, but what people have told me that have seen this team on film is that it looks a lot like Alabama, and perhaps more alarmingly, the things that Alabama likes to do on 3rd down, Maryland does it on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. They will move around, they will blitz, they'll disguise. They're going to make it very hard on the offensive line and on Clint Trickett. The front 7, 6 seniors and a junior. These are, I believe we call them GAM on the blog now. They're good guys. I mean, they're 280-pound defensive ends, 300-pound nose. Their linebackers all look like inside linebackers, but move like outside linebackers. Corners are good, safeties are good. It's just a veteran experience and frankly good defense. And players, impactful players at each spot. Alex Monroe is a 5'11", 285-pound defensive end who uses leverage and strength. L.A. Goree, a really good tackling linebacker, does not miss a lot of stuff. Will Likely is a 5'7", 175-pound corner, but is active, pretty good against the run actually, and does not get beat for a guy that you look at and say, wow, we can throw the ball over top of him. And Sean Davis, the safety, is a really good player, 2nd on the team in tackles, very active in the run and the pass. And he's one to watch because the one reason that West Virginia could not break plays against Towson last week was because the safety number 15 on Towson just didn't miss many tackles, inserted himself in a lot of the action, and did really well. Remember, Towson, 606 yards of offense allowed to West Virginia, didn't allow a play longer than 26 yards, and that was Andrew Bowie in mop-up time in the second half. So all those skilled parts West Virginia has on its offense, it couldn't get out and get over top the Towson defense. Now, Towson made it hard, kept an umbrella on top of everything, wouldn't get beat over top, but West Virginia just didn't do a good job running through, running by defenders. That has to get better against Maryland, or it could be a long day. Maryland's offense, same story. A lot of the same guys back, a lot of experience. Their offensive line, very much different from West Virginia's. The tackle and the center are experienced players, all returning starters. I think some of it's going to look a little bit like it did against Towson, and this is interesting because Towson's coach is Rob Ambrose. He was Maryland coach Randy Edsall's offensive coordinator for a couple of years at UConn. They had good success together, and Edsall hasn't divorced himself entirely from those offensive experiences. You'll see some quarterback run stuff Saturday. You saw it last Saturday, but you're also going to see C.J. Brown, the quarterback, run some more option than what West Virginia has seen so far this season. The three receivers, you know two of them really well, Stephon Diggs, Deion Long, obviously very good players, outside receivers. However, Marcus League is a guy who's come on strong, had 2 touchdowns last week. He's bigger than the other two, might be faster, at least from point to point, than the other two as well. 6 foot, 210 pounds. And again, it's going to be a guy that West Virginia's secondary has to match up with because so much attention, rightfully so, goes toward the outside guys. Again, matchups much more close than they were this year. It'll certainly help that West Virginia has a quarterback with a functioning throwing arm, but the focus for West Virginia, very easy to attain and to sustain this week. 37-0 speaks for itself. If you're into motivation, well, Maryland 2-0 and whooped this team they're about to play last season. What do they do in practice this week? We'll see, but certainly they have to feel confident because they have so much back. But West Virginia, motivated itself, knows it has a lot of players back, and has improved. Again, the gap between the two is narrowed, and we'll see how close or maybe even how far it gets Saturday, noon, Bird Stadium. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. I'm Mike Casazza.